The alarm clock didn't ring. At first, Emily slept on deep, untroubled, completely unaware that time was moving on without her permission. When she finally opened her eyes, golden sunlight was already stretching its fingers across the wall. She reached for her phone, still groggy, and then her heart froze. 9:37. She was late, so incredibly late. Panic rose up inside her like a sudden, violent storm. Emily leapt out of bed, her thoughts racing a million miles an hour, far ahead of her body. The meeting, the presentation, the gridlock traffic, the terrible, stammering explanation she'd have to give to her boss. She threw on clothes in a frantic rush, skipped breakfast, and practically flew out the door, her mind a chaotic whirlwind of worst-case scenarios. But her day wasn't done with her yet. She got to her car, turned the key, and nothing. Just a sad, clicking sound. The battery was dead. The day, it seemed, had officially declared itself her enemy. For a moment, she just stood there, leaning against the cold metal of her car door, feeling utterly defeated. What now? The taxi would take forever to arrive in rush hour. The bus was on the other side of town. With no other choice, she began to walk. At first, every single step was filled with frustration and resentment. Each car that whizzed past her felt like a personal accusation, a reminder of how behind she was. Her mind was a movie screen, replaying imaginary apologies and disastrous outcomes. She could almost feel her manager's disappointed glare. She pictured her colleagues gossiping by the coffee machine. This was a nightmare, but as she walked, something strange began to happen. The frantic rhythm of her heart started to slow down, matching the steady pace of her footsteps. Her breath, which had been shallow and tight in her chest, began to deepen. The steady rhythm of her own movements seemed to soften the sharp, anxious edges of her thoughts. For the first time all morning, she noticed the air was cool and clean, with the faint scent of rain from the night before. She looked up from the pavement, a woman walking ahead of her left, a bright, genuine sound that carried on the breeze as she spoke into her phone. A street vendor was carefully, almost meditatively, arranging a pile of oranges into a perfect, gleaming pyramid. A small brown bird hopped along the sidewalk just a few feet away, completely fearless and unhurried in its search for breakfast. Something inside Emily loosened its grip. A knot of tension she hadn't even realized she was carrying began to unravel. She realized this was the first morning in months, maybe even years, that she hadn't rushed through. There was no frantic scrolling through emails while trying to brush her teeth. No mental rehearsal of the day's to-do list while gulping down coffee. There was just this: walking, breathing, seeing. The all-consuming urgency that had ruled her body just an hour ago started to fade away, replaced by a quiet, simple awareness she had long forgotten existed. It was like a part of herself she put on a shelf had just been taken down and dusted off. The world around her wasn't a blurry obstacle course to be navigated at high speed. It was a place filled with small, beautiful details. The walk was long, but it no longer felt like a punishment. It felt peaceful. By the time she finally arrived at the tall glass doors of her office building, she was more than an hour and a half late. The big meeting she had been panicking about was surely over. She took a deep breath, braced herself for the consequences, and walked in. She saw her manager near the reception desk. He looked up, saw her, and broke into a warm, easy smile. "Emily, there you are. We postponed the meeting," he said casually. Jim's flight was delayed. You didn't miss anything important. Emily just nodded, a wave of relief washing over her. But she was surprised, not just by the good news, but by her own profound sense of calm. The frantic panic from that morning felt like a distant memory, something that had happened to someone else. She realized that even if she had missed the meeting, even if her boss had been angry, she sensed that somehow she would have been okay. The world wouldn't have ended. That evening, back in her quiet apartment, she picked up the broken alarm clock from her bedside table. It felt small and insignificant in her hand. For a brief moment, she considered throwing it in the trash. It had failed her after all. But instead, she placed it back gently on the knit stand, like an old, respected teacher whose most important lesson had finally been delivered. The next morning, the new alarm on her phone rang right on time. Emily got up, but she didn't rush. She moved with a newfound deliberation. She took a moment to watch the sunrise paint the sky. She savored her coffee, and she listened to the sounds of the neighborhood waking up. She had learned something simple and enduring from her disastrous, wonderful day. Life does not always begin when the alarm sounds. Sometimes, the most important parts of life begin when it doesn't. Thank you so much for watching. If this story resonated with you, I'd love it if you'd like this video and subscribe for more. See you in the next one.